Okay, this video is going to be about my first rage that I remember and the first medication that I was prescribed. I was in the 6th grade, I was 12 years old, and I had stabbed my teacher in the thigh with a number 2 pencil. It started when we came into the school that morning, maybe after lunch or recess, and since it was raining, everything was wet and muddy. They had us sit on the floor in the hallway for some reason. I went back into the classroom to get my jacket, not sure why my jacket was in the classroom, so I could sit on it and not get my new outfit dirty. I was wearing red stretch pants and a long denim shirt that was decorated with some cool embroidered patterns on the front. The teacher yelled at me, and then I remember her holding me off the ground by my waist, and I was screaming, and there was a pencil sticking out of her thigh. We fought for what could have been 2 seconds or 10 minutes. I really have no clue. Then I remember being dragged down the hallway, still raging, and being put in the principal's own personal bathroom in her office and being locked in there. I don't know how long I was in there, but when the door opened and someone peeked in or spoke to me, I raged some more. Then I remember being in the principal's office on a different day with my dad, stepmom, principal, and teacher. We were talking about the incident, and I was grinning like mad because I was so embarrassed, and I just couldn't stop grinning. At one point, my teacher looked at me and said, "I've never seen you smile like that." After that, I remember having to have wires attached to my head and then having to take medication. I had to learn to swallow a pill, which was very difficult. I hated those pills. They were orange pills. Every day, my teacher asked me how I was feeling. It was a new teacher. The old one had quit teaching and moved away, as far as I understand. And every day I would say, "My tummy hurts." So after a couple of weeks of this, I told my stepmom that I didn't want to take the pills anymore, so she let me stop. I remember going back to the doctor a second time to get my head all wired up again, because it turns out Mom wasn't supposed to use conditioner when she washed my hair. So this time she didn't use conditioner and they did the test again. I never had to take pills again. I remember the new teacher being so nice to me. She would let me go up and sit on her lap as she read to the class. What the hell was her name? Shout out to you, Mrs. Whatever your name may be. If you're watching, I want to thank you for your kindness. Now I'm sad because I thought she was so old back then, though I have no idea how old she really was. But if she was as old as I thought she was then, and she might not even still be alive now. That's a terrible thought. Years ago, I found out that I had been diagnosed with ADHD at age 12, but the medication was for seizures. I remember going to see some therapist lady. She was big and she smoked cigarettes and she blew the smoke in my face. She asked me, "Why do you throw temper tantrums?" Like I was supposed to know. I told her I don't know. I remember seeing all the dolls on her shelf and wanting to play with them. I realize now that they were dolls where kids were supposed to point to a spot on their body where someone else did something bad to them. At the time, I just wanted to play with the dolls because I thought they looked so cool. And that's my first memory of a rage and also the first time I was prescribed medication. I will be making another video about empathy, so stay tuned.